Think you can handle these 10 brutal Souls-like games that are still scheduled to launch in 2025? Greetings, Indie Warriors, and welcome to I Dream of Indie Games. Old Gamer Joe here to run down 10 ferocious, awesome-looking Souls-like releases that you can look forward to playing this year. So strap on some armor and grab thy sword because it's about to get dangerous. But real quick, following dishonest AI-generated coverage is just as dangerous. Support real people making real content over at patreon.com/idreamofindiegames. You'll gain Discord access, early ad-free shows, shoutouts at the end of every video we produce, our podcast 3 days early, and so much more. Your new indie gaming community is waiting for you. First up on our list, a title that sits comfortably in the AA category as it's not coming from a mega publisher. This is Hell Is Us, launching on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox consoles at a cheaper than AAA $49.99 price tag. Developed by Rogue Factor and backed by Nacon, Hell Is Us is a brutally difficult-looking third-person action RPG with Souls elements that has a bleak, warlike setting full of evil monstrosities. Taking control of Remy, you must find your missing parents, but what you really end up finding are nasty Hollow Walkers. Expect no hand-holding here as the game tosses aside a minimap, quest markers, or any sort of navigational help, forcing the player to use a compass. Combat is stamina-based, as you would expect, and all told, the game looks violently delightful. You can enjoy it soon too, as it launches early this September. Next on our list is Mistfall Hunter, another third-person action RPG that has Souls-like combat mixed with PvPvE extraction mechanics. Taking place within a Nordic world that's been devastated by the Ragnarok, you'll play as Gildan hunters who have been brought back from the dead to defeat the wretched Gildan Mist. There's stamina-based combat, aiming, and tons of different customizable class builds alongside an endless slew of skills and abilities. You'll have to be nimble on your feet if you hope to survive. With classic hallmarks of the Souls-like genre, this unique mix of extraction and brutality should make for a welcome release when it drops sometime this year. A fantasy boss rush that mixes in some intense Souls-like combat is next on the docket. This is Rubinite, where you'll control the Princess Ruby in her escape from a tortured kingdom. On your quest to reclaim what's rightfully yours, you'll need to strike down each boss with precision, finding their weaknesses and relying on a focus mechanic. It won't be easy, as the undead will kill you on the fly if you don't carefully manage your stamina. Coming to us from the small indie studio Cupdog Games, there's some beautiful pixel art, deep customizable options, and great atmosphere that should make this an exceptional release, assuming it can hit its target of launching sometime this year. The Relic First Guardian is next, developed by Project Cloud Games and being published by Perp. This third-person action RPG romp fully embraces the Souls-like genre with its post-apocalyptic setting, as you battle through foes as the last Guardian, who must recover lost fragments of a broken relic. There's your usual stamina-based combat, a deep and challenging parry system, along with a massive open world that's full of epic enemy encounters alongside dangerous obstacles to avoid. Players can look forward to 5 different weapon types, great visuals, tons of crafting, in this AA effort that looks to create an Elden Ring-style experience on a much smaller budget. VELASTER is the next brutal experience on this list, a 2.5D side-scrolling action RPG that takes place in a horrid Middle-earth full of demons, angels, and humans alike. Picking between 3 different characters, you'll use swords, twin blades, or hammers through stamina-based combat as you string together combos and parries. Boss fights will be savage, so be ready to keep moving, but the atmosphere really steals the show. Doesn't look like VELASTER will be any slouch in the difficulty department either, so get your skills up to task and ready yourself for this great-looking release later this year. Just because it comes from a smaller studio doesn't mean it won't be massively ambitious. Hoping to drop Q4 of this year, Withering Realms is next from Moonless Formless. The horror setting looks awesome in this one, taking place during the 1920s in a world where the dead rule. As Clover the Ghost, not like Casper, you must explore a decrepit town accompanied by a doll crafted through human remains. Gross. You'll get the usual when it comes to Souls games with a tough stamina-driven combat engine, weapon crafting, and plenty of exploration. But this one stands out a bit thematically based on what I've seen. It'll be starting out in early access, so has some time to grow and improve too. Moving right along, Banshee Demon Girl is next, developed and published by False Prophet. This third-person Soulsborne stealth title takes place in 16th century Europe. Nice. Controlling a Japanese hero that's returned from the dead as a vampire, you must slice down foes with katanas, relying heavily on stealth. Players will even be able to utilize some wild transformations. The Dance of Death system has attacks syncing to the music of the game, adding an element of rhythm. There's epic boss battles, tons of exploration, and even more in this unique approach to the Souls-like genre that mixes things up drastically. A sequel next makes our list. This is Grime II, still scheduled for this year and coming to us from Cloverbyte and Quali. While a Metroidvania in much of its design, Grime II will also build upon the Souls-like elements of the original. Playing as the Formless, who is capable of absorbing foes, you'll need to get used to the stamina management system all over again, while parrying attacks and using your tendrils at just the right moment. There's a wild traversal system here, very bleak, decaying world to explore, and lots of other nice refinements from the original that should make this an awesome indie release. The original game received very positive reviews, so expect this one to be every bit as good. Next is Duel Corp, a game that will first be hitting early access. This Souls-inspired RPG has a bit of everything, including procedural generation, directional combat, and MMO-style co-op features. Create unique builds, utilize a vast array of weapons and abilities, and take on challenging trials that are random in nature. Combat will borrow from classic Souls games with enemy patterns needing to be carefully learned. I love the idea of being able to play with a friend too. I'm the kind of Souls player that isn't ashamed to call in backup if it means making progress. And to close out our list, we have something radically different, a non-linear FPS that's being created on the Doom engine and has Souls-like design elements. This is Mohrta. Mohrta puts you in the shoes of a warrior who must hunt down rogue operatives through insane, connected worlds. The combat is going to be very, very slow and demanding, believe it or not, for an FPS, as you won't have much for healing, and it's really all about strategy. The game will feature 20 brutal bosses, a massive hub, and nasty set pieces too. Obviously, it's being made on a smaller budget, but I applaud the ambition and creativeness of blending Souls-like difficulty with FPS combat and, aliens. Man, it's hard not to love indies. But that's gonna do it for this list, folks. We hope you found an awesome Souls-like to look forward to this year. Voice to the voiceless, and I'll see you on the channel for all of the latest indie gaming coverage.